And after some technical difficulties, we are live from Morgantown Ice Arena. Quinn Kuski here alongside of Chris Breitsemeter as your West Virginia Mountaineers take on the Canisius Griffins. Canisius currently leads 1-0 and is on the power play with 11:53 to go in period number 2. Chris, we've been sitting here watching the game. What have you thought so far?
Pretty back and forth game. There hasn't been many chances on either goal. A couple good saves by both keepers here so far. The game's wide open, 1-0, like you said, for Canisius, and hopefully the Mountaineers can get one in here before the end of the second period.
The Griffins controlling it along the blue line, trying to work it on this power play. The Mountaineers able to clear the zone as the power play hits the halfway point. And it's settled down around behind, and the Griffins work it ahead. Canisius looking to advance it back into their zone. They bring it up to the offensive end now. There's a solid hit from Jukas as he tried to dislodge the puck. And with his pressure, the puck comes all the way back out and down. Clock down to 40 on the power play. Griffins swing it up the boards. It comes free and it's taken by Morris. Morris passes one back along, and that one's flipped out of the zone by Judas, where it is settled down by the Griffin netminder. And Canisius retakes possession. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Maybe enough time for one more sustained attack here for Canisius before we go back to even hockey. That one comes free, and back out it goes again. Fantastic kill for the Mountaineers, and that usually leads to some momentum for the killing team.
Yeah, you hope to see them pick up the momentum here. Down a goal with 10 minutes left, halfway through the game. You'd want to see, right now at this half point, you'd want to see the Mountaineers completely taking that momentum and carrying it throughout the rest of the game.
And a good play there by Huff, going ahead and covering that one up. Freezing play and letting the Mountaineers get the correct lines out now that we're back to even strength.
10:21 left in the second period here, and we have a shot count of shots on goal, 17 for the Mountaineers and 12 for Canisius.
Now the Griffins trailing on the shot board, but just from watching this game in the first period, they could have scored a couple more. They had a lot of chances and a lot of really high-quality chances. A couple fans on empty nets, things like that. Like, the chances have been there for both teams, but definitely the Griffins have had better opportunities in this game. They deserve to have the lead right now. The Mountaineers, you got to pick up the play. West Virginia with it at center ice, sandwiched between a couple players there. And it comes free where the Griffins pick it back up. Trying to apply the pressure was Evans, but the Griffins work it out of the zone where it's picked up by the West Virginia defense. Mountaineers cycling it back around. That's Lewis with it. Lewis unable to clear the zone. The Griffins send it back in. It comes in on Huff, and he'll just cover it up and hold for a draw.
Little chippy there after the whistle between a Mountaineer player and a Canisius player. There's been a whole lot of stoppages of play there. The refs, not a lot of penalties. We've only seen a few penalties, but a whole lot of stoppage of plays, a whole lot of offsides, and the refs are on their calls today.
Yeah, and this game started to get chippy when Huff was knocked into his goal right before the broadcast started, and things kind of amped up from there. And then we had the slashing penalty that was taken kind of as a result of that scrum, and I think things are still spilling over from that right now. That puck's sent aside, trying to hit Hintmeyer there, and it comes free where the Griffins regain possession, and they'll work it ahead into the offensive end. Canisius takes a shot, that one patted aside by Huff. He's having a solid game so far. West Virginia able to regain possession, and they take it out as far as center before the Griffins bring it back into the offensive end. Retreating back with it there is Gukin. Gukin puts a little turnaround move on a guy, and he passes ahead, and West Virginia trying to break out, and into the zone they go. West Virginia taking a shot, and that one just wide. A good chance there for Hintmeyer as it swings free and goes back around the boards seeking Hintmeyer, and now it's trapped up in the corner. Bodies come together. Hintmeyer goes after it. It stays free around behind, picked up by Evans. Evans works it around for Ventura. Ventura swings it back around behind. Hintmeyer puts it out in front. It's loose in the slot. There's the shot, and it's saved. A good save there on the shot from Ventura.
Great last play there by Hintmeyer. He saw the outlet lane open, and he took it all the way. The West Virginia Mountaineers found him, and he found himself on a breakaway with the keeper, almost putting it into that bottom right corner.
And when I saw the lines come out for today's game, definitely that Ventura, Evans, Hintmeyer line, that was something that the second I saw it, I knew that was a line that could produce, and that was a great shift right there and another momentum builder for West Virginia. The Griffins ring it around the boards. It'll go all the way out. Cosgrove retreats back and gains possession. Cosgrove passes off there for Avalone. Avalone drops it for Hedges. Hedges cycling around looking for help. He gets taken down, and going over to help now is Gookin. Gookin unable to stay with it. And now a shot from the Griffins. A good work job there by Huff, coming way out of the blue paint, cutting off angles. There, a one-time shot. Huff able to pad that one aside as well. The Griffins staying with it. And now we have a stoppage in play, and there is a penalty upcoming.
One thing the Mountaineers, I felt like, wanted to focus on after that last game against John Carroll 2 weeks ago here, actually it was, they lose the puck in transition very often, and the whole entire opposite team is up in their zone, and it's just a dangerous place to lose the puck, and it will cause goals for the other team.
Yeah, I think, those transition plays like you were talking about, you see teams that turn it over, especially if they're trying to exit the zone and turn it over. Defensive zone turnovers are detrimental to a team's chance at success. Big hit there from West Virginia. Players still staying gathered together right now, and it comes free. West Virginia sends it into the zone. That one coming around the boards. Up to the blue line for a shot. That one blockered aside. West Virginia able to hold the zone there. Good play by Morris. We got a guy down on the ice for West Virginia, and a penalty upcoming as a result. Looked like there was a slash behind the play. I didn't catch what happened, but we had Isel down on the ice. He got back up to his skates. It looks like he took that slash right to the midsection the way he went down. And based on the reaction of some of the fans that were sitting right there and had front row seats to it, it sounds like it was pretty egregious and behind the play.
Yeah, things are getting a little chippy here between the players. You'll definitely see more and more players coming together, trying to lay out some big hits, and this game's definitely going to get a lot more physical as it goes on.
And another thing to comment on there, Isel had just laid a monster hit along the far side wall of the offensive end right before that slash happened, so I think maybe a bit of a retaliation play there on what was a clean hit from Isel. Mountaineers rolling out the power play line. They got Judas, Evans, Ventura, Lewis, and Hedges on the ice here.
Ventura is a huge presence in the middle there. Great with the stick, great with the puck on his stick, and he's always finding the great outlet pass to his wingers. Hintermeyer is really dangerous when Ventura's in the middle there with him.
One thing I'm a bit surprised there, we got Evans on the wing and Ventura at center. Maybe it's a personal opinion. I think Evans is the best face-off man on this team. I'm surprised he's not the one taking the draws on the power play.
Well, a few weeks ago here when we were playing John Carroll, Ventura looks like he was playing center a little bit of the game, most of the game actually, and he has great stick skills, and I think that's a great place for him to play. Although you are right, he is good out on the wing, and Evans is good in the middle there too.
It's always nice to have an elite player like that you can stick anywhere on the ice and know he's going to excel. Referee's still talking into the box right now, trying to maybe determine whether this is going to be a 2 or a 5, because you have a man that goes down looking injured off what was a pretty bad slash. You do have to start to wonder, do you maybe do a 5-minute major here?
Yeah, I'm curious here. I'm curious here to see what the refs are going to do. I think if they give out the 5-minute major, it's going to be a sign to the players to clean it up and stop getting scrappy. And if they keep it at 2, they like the physicalness and they want the players to keep playing how they're playing and keep this hockey game going.
This is a chance here for the referees to take control of this game, and it's not something you want to see, but at times it can become necessary. And you've had now 2 slashing penalties within the last 6 minutes. Things could start to get a little bit dangerous here if that keeps being allowed to happen. But they've called the penalties. Both teams are now being received with 2-minute minors, which you keep it clean across the board. Both sides got 2 for the same penalty, so all is well so far. And the Mountaineers start up on their power play. Lewis swings it across for Hedges. Hedges takes a shot through traffic. That one deflects up into the mesh netting and out of play. And the clock is still running. And there we got it. Lost about 4 seconds there. Looks like we might have a bit of maybe have a fix to it. Appears though, the referee going to go talk to the box, tell him to not start the clock for a few seconds after puck drop. And we'll get that cleaned up. Evans on the draw now for the Mountaineers, and he wins it over where Judas is unable to take it. It goes around the boards, kicks up to Lewis. He's able to hold the zone. Lewis walks the blue line. He swings it for Hedges. Hedges takes a shot, and that one blockered aside. That comes around the boards. Lewis chips it back into the corner for Ventura. Ventura passes out. That one goes off the stick of Evans, and now it gets back down low and all the way down for Ventura. From the place Gretzky made famous, he swings it up to Evans. Evans takes a shot, and that one goes wide around the boards, and out it will go. Hedges able to gain possession. He swings it along for Evans, and Evans rings it back into the zone. Racing after it there is Ventura. But the Griffins have it in the corner right now. Both sides battling for it. Judas able to work it free. Judas controlling along the near wall, looking for options. He passes across, one-time shot, that one well wide, but it goes right back to Judas, who lays it off for Lewis. 44 to go in the power play. With it now is Hedges. That is Gukin now. Gukin going cross ice, and now it's dropped off where it's picked back up by Judas. Judas goes back for Lewis. Lewis walks the blue line, back down low for Judas. Judas goes cross ice. Gukin trying to reach out and get to it. It flips up into the air, and Judas gets it back. Judas takes a shot through traffic. That one deflects around and never finds its way on frame. Back up to the blue line, blocked off by Lewis. Mountaineers with a lot of zone time, but not a lot of shots right now as it continues to go around the zone for Ventura. Ventura up to the blue line for a one-time blast, and that kicks free. Mountaineers holding at the line. Lewis again. He goes for Gukin. Gukin cross ice. Picked up by Evans, and a great chance there, and what a save. Easily the best chance of the power play there, and a stone-cold save to keep it at 1-0.
Fantastic save there by the Canisius keeper. He had his glove right where that puck was soaring to in the net, and he got his glove on it. But I was just going to say here, I love how many extra possessions Judas gets for this team. Every game I'm watching, he is hustling in the offensive third, and he's always winning the puck for his team to keep it up there and get some more shots on net.
Judas definitely a big factor on that power play as we go back to even strength, and the Griffins win the draw. They'll look to exit the zone and do so successfully as they bring it up to center ice. ISO applying some back check there. Now Cosgrove coming in to help as well. The puck rang around the boards, and the Griffins have it back. Now it's battled for along that far wall. Both sides plucking away at the puck, and it comes free for the Griffins and kicks up into center where the Mountaineers are able to gain possession, and they'll bring it out of their defensive end, and at least as far as center, where the Griffins take it back and chip it back in to be picked up by Cosgrove. Cosgrove's pass is blocked off by the Griffins. That puck goes around. And now it's loose at center. Trying to come over there and make a play on it was Isel. Solid hit from Cosgrove against the boards, but the Griffins stay with it, and they have it at center. They'll dump it and ring it around the boards, where it is collected there by Gukin. Gukin flips one up into the air, and it's picked back up by the Mountaineers, and they'll exit the zone. Not yet. Isel losing possession there, had his pocket picked, and then picks it right back. Isel works it through center ice now and into the offensive end. He takes a shot. That one catches the boards. And now Evans goes cross ice. No one home. Now Isel's able to pick it up and flip it back into the zone. Battling for it there was Avalone, but it's picked up by the Griffins. They go cross ice, and a long stretch pass connects, but deflecting off the stick. And now it's picked up by Barrows. Barrows taken out along the boards. Another solid hit there from the Griffins, but the Mountaineers gain possession. West Virginia looking to exit the zone. They flip one ahead, and it goes to Ventura. Ventura drops one off for Hintmeyer. Hintmeyer takes a shot. He scores! Hintmeyer puts it home right up in the top left corner, and the Mountaineers even things up at 1 apiece with 3:57 to go in period number 2.
The awareness to know where you are on the ice there, he didn't even look at the net before he shot. His head was looking down at the puck, and he just swung his body and put it right on net, and that went just perfectly right into the top left corner for a beautiful goal by Hayden Hintmeyer. And now we are tied 1-1 here in Morgantown.
West Virginia, we just talked about all the momentum they had been gaining. They had a successful power play. They didn't score, but it looked good, and that helps momentum as well. And there's the peak of it with that goal to even things up. West Virginia bringing it back into the zone now. With speed is Ventura. Ventura takes a monster hit into the boards. He goes down hard. No hand in the air. Play is ruled clean. Hintmeyer able to take possession Ventura just looks a little bit shook up, but he's staying in play right now as that one is covered up and held. Now Ventura's going to make his way off, and he is in pain.
Yeah, it looks to seem like he is holding his right shoulder. It's not always good. Occasionally we see a trainer working on that shoulder before the games, so it might be a recurring issue with him, and hopefully we can see him back out there soon.
Getting away on the draw for West Virginia. It is one back to the blue line, and that a good kick save there, and now worked out of the zone by the Griffins. They almost sprung a man free on a breakaway there. They had a cherry picker get behind the West Virginia defense. And now the Mountaineers work it ahead, and into the zone they go. Racing for it there is Jukas, and unable to get through it. Judas trying to come along and help out, but it's still held by the Griffins, and they'll work it ahead out to the offensive end. Griffins put on the brakes, and they look for help. That pass across fails, and it kicks free. They're down. It will go almost to the West Virginia offensive end. The Griffins help it get there, but they have possession. Way applying some forecheck. Griffins exit the zone successfully. West Virginia offsides. They wait for the tag up. Now they're on legally. Working it in is Lewis. He takes a shot. Rebound right into the slot, and it cleared away there by the Griffins. Good chance for West Virginia. Griffins working it ahead into the offensive zone now. They take a shot. That one patted aside by Huff, and it rings around the boards. Both sides battling for possession there. It's still loose in the near corner. 3 versus 3 aside, trying to rip this puck off of the boards. And finally the Griffins come away with it, but it kicks up into the air. Griffins keeping it in the zone. They'll send it around the boards back behind the net. Griffins still cycling the offensive end, looking for some offense. Now West Virginia able to force a turnover. They chip one ahead up off the glass. ISO unable to find it, and it comes free where the Griffins look to work it into the zone once more. That puck is turned over. West Virginia had it momentarily. ISO was stripped. Now a cross-ice pass from the Griffins, but a good defensive play there. Good effort from Stokes. Griffins still with it at center ice. Now they're bringing it into the zone. Both sides battle for possession. Coming away with it is Cosgrove. Cosgrove drops it off, and it chips up into the air there off the return pass, and it's taken by the Griffins. Griffins now working into the offensive end. They pass cross, and now a chance down low, and now patted aside by Huff. Griffins able to work it back up into the slot for another chance, and Huff's there for that one as well, and he'll hold for a draw with 1:11 to go, 1:10. Clock still running. I'll update you when they stop it. 1:09 to go in period number 2.
From the Mountaineer coach here, I really want to emphasize to my team the transition game, like I keep saying. It's tough when you're trying to get out of your defensive end and you can't find any wingers to pass to, but it's also tough, like I said, when they take the puck in your zone and they're able to get one back on. You got to find a good, even way to get the puck out of that end and try not to turn it over before it moves to center ice.
Defensive zone face-off for the Mountaineers. They'll work on that transition game if they can gain possession right here. Vermont loses that face-off, and the Griffins gain possession. They send it around the boards where it's taken by Gookin. Gookin passes one along, but it's taken back by the Griffins at center. Good forecheck here, and racing after it there is Searcy. He almost went for that superb man goal, and that's off its moorings right now. Griffins netminder just going to fix it as Searcy dumps it back into the zone. Around the boards it will go, and Wilson pursues after it on the forecheck. A lot of speed on this fourth line for the Mountaineers. Vermont trying to gain possession. It comes out to center. West Virginia will just dump it back in. Mountaineers tag up, and they'll go back in after it on the forecheck. Griffins with a cross-ice pass there. That stretch pass fails, and now it goes around the boards. After it there is Hintmeyer. Getting a bit of help from Vermont, but it comes around the boards where the Griffins keep possession. Hintmeyer once again tries to pinch it off, unsuccessful, and the Griffins hold it still in their defensive zone. Yeah, Chris, the West Virginia forecheck unable to gain possession there, but they forced the Griffins to really have to work to get that puck out of the zone, and it stopped them from developing what could have been another offensive chance there late in period number 2.
Absolutely, yeah. We were talking about the 10-minute mark, about the momentum needing to switch sides there. And so far, since then, it's looked like it has. Great goal there about at the 6th minute by Hintmeyer. Head down on the puck. Turns and just gets a slingshot right on the net, and it goes right to the upper corner. Beautiful shot by Hintmeyer. And now the Mountaineers are going into the second intermission with a 1-1 tie.
That's right, Chris. It is 1-1 after 2 for Koinkuski alongside of Chris Brightsmeter. We will be back for the start of period number 3 at the Morgantown Ice Arena. And we're back at Morgantown Ice Arena. Quinn Kuski here alongside of Chris Breitzemeter. We have a 1-1 tie game going into period number 3 between your Mountaineers and the Griffins. Chris, what did you see in that second period that you liked from both sides here?
Well, from both sides, I mean, great effort on each side, that's for sure. But the Mountaineers really honed in halfway through that second period and tried to switch the momentum there. They ended up doing so, and they found Hintemeyer on the right side of the ice, and he was able to shoot a beautiful goal and hit the top left corner and was able to tie it up here.
Fantastic. It was a snipe show. I think that's the only way to put it. And Hintemeyer able to draw this game even at 1s going into the third. Last period of regulation very well might not be the last period of this game. And we are underway. Griffins winning the face-off. They set it up for center ice, and down rink they go. Clean ice, much faster play here at the start of period number 3 as that one goes around the boards, and the Griffins collect it far side. That player dropped his stick, but the Griffins able to stay with it. And now it goes around the boards off the stick of Judas, but turned over to the Griffins. Griffins cycling. They send it down low, right out in front, but well defended there by Gookin to force that out of the slot. That one comes free, worked into the high slot, and now down low. A pass across, and they'll score off that. A gorgeous setup there, and the Griffins take the 2-1 lead.
Unlucky there for the Mountaineers. Great play for the Griffins, but if you're a defender for the Mountaineers, you got to see that weak side player, and you got to get over to them so they don't cross the puck across the slot in front of the goalkeeper and have that wide open goal on the opposite side.
It was just great stick handling there from the defensive player for the Griffins. I mean, able to pinch in beautifully, gain possession, walked right through 2 players, and then dished that pass cross ice. He's not going to get credit with the goal, but it was his goal. That puck going in deep off to the right shoulder of Huff. The Griffins win the race to it. They pass it out in front. That one rejected there by Burrows. Now it goes around behind. That pass intercepted. The Griffins walk it out in front. A shot in on Huff. Rebound loose in front, and Huff jumps on top of it, and he'll hold for a draw. Defensive zone turnovers, Chris, detrimental.
Yeah, we keep saying it here. You wonder when they're going to start honing down on those and cutting them off. But great awareness there by Huff. He realized the player was coming around the back of the goal, and he was able to switch sides and get his glove over the puck.
Defensive zone draw here for West Virginia. Only a minute into period number 3. That one comes free. Able to push it along there was Burrows. Now it comes free. Burrows' pass intercepted. And there's a shot. Huff blockers that one aside. Now it goes around behind trying to get to it. There is Morris. Feeding him to it is Avalone, but that's both on the same side, so all is good there. Puck kicks free. Burrows takes it. Burrows drops it off for Avalone. Avalone tried to connect on the give and go, and it comes free and chips off the near wall where it's collected by Morris. That puck comes free. Eisel trying to pass it. He bumped into a referee and he loses possession, but now unable to work it out of the zone there is Cosgrove, and it rings around the boards to be collected by Burrows. Burrows nearly lost it right in front of Huff, and now he passes nearly on goal. This is just a really bad sequence for West Virginia right now.
Yeah, the Mountaineers don't do really well in their zone with pressure on them. They got to clean that up.
Hintemeyer now, he works it into the offensive end. He's already got 1 tying goal. Maybe he can get a second. He passed across there. Morris mishandled it. Evans just tries to shoot one in on a sharp angle, and it goes off the side of the net. Now working it back ahead of the Griffins. A gorgeous cross-ice pass that got gloved down, and a good save from Huff. Rebound out in front, cleared away by Ventura, and now played around the boards where it's collected by Morris. Morris passes ahead for Ventura. Ventura to Hintemeyer. Hintemeyer with speed into the offensive end. He develops a chance, and he takes a shot, and that one gloved aside. It comes around behind. Going around the boards, the Griffins collect it, and now they'll work it out of the zone. It comes free where it'll be collected by Lewis and his defensive end. Lewis turns, loses possession. It goes over to the Griffins. Lewis battles and regains it. Lewis hassled the entire way, trying to work it free. And it goes around behind where Stokes collects. Stokes flips it. It goes up into the air, and it comes free. The Griffins going to stay with it in the zone. That shot blocked off, comes back out again. That shot in on Huff. Now fanned on by Evans. Griffins right into the slot for a chance, and that one trapped in by Huff. Bodies come down, and we're going to have a scrum in the blue paint.
Getting a little chippy down there behind Huff.
Anytime you see players in the opposing jersey and a goalie's blue paint, this is what you're going to have as a result every time. You protect a goalie in hockey just as much as you protect a quarterback in football, so no surprise to see the Mountaineers looking to clear those Griffins out of the blue.
With how much trouble the Mountaineers are having getting the puck out of their end, I don't know why they haven't at least tried once to lob it out. I mean, even if it goes back for an icing, I know it comes back, but it's better than turning it over and giving up a wide open shot in front of your keeper.
Yeah, a couple great chances there for the Griffins right in the slot, and both of those chances coming right off of turnovers from West Virginia. Solid hit there from Gookin, leads to possession for Vermont. Vermont drops it to Gookin. Now Gookin looking for that lead pass. He connects, but it goes off of the stick of Wilson and free. The Griffins bringing it back into the zone now. They pass cross ice. It's blocked off. Both sides battle for it. It rings around the boards to be collected by Hedges. Hedges chips one along, hoping for Gookin. Coming back for it is Searcy. He goes down hard. No call there. As Hedges goes cross ice, and he connects with Vermont. Vermont into the zone now. He stick handles by one, and he puts on the brakes. Up to the blue line for Gookin. Gookin takes a shot. That one gets blocked off. Never found its way through. Vermont plays it down low for Searcy. Searcy trying to find Gookin, and it comes free, and racing away with it are the Griffins. Good back check there from Vermont, able to stop what could have been a good chance, and bringing it into the zone for the Mountaineers is Wilson. Wilson takes a shot. That one blockered aside. It kicks up into the air, and the Griffins take it. Griffins putting on the brakes, a good move there. Into the zone they come with a chance now out in front, and they score. What a goal for the Griffins, and it is 3-1.
That's a tough one there for the Mountaineers. A whole lot of watching there. Player soars right through three separate defenders and beats Jacob Hugh to go upper left corner.
Yeah, you can't fault Huff on that one. I mean, chances for so many players, like you said, to take possession of that puck, and there was just, like you said, a lot of watching and not a lot of action and flat feet. The big one was flat feet there for West Virginia. They weren't ready for that man to come streaking right through the heart of their defense, and just like that, the Mountaineers trail by a pair. Griffins working it back into the zone. Now it has been all Griffins so far in period number 3, but a lot of hockey to be played. 15-20 to go. Now the puck goes out in front. The Griffins cycling with it. They play it around the boards. And from down low in the corner, trying to work out in front, but a good play there by Viernway to gain possession back for West Virginia. Viernway backhands one across, looking for Judas, and it will go down for an icing. A lot of unhappy Mountaineer players on that call.
Is it just me, or does Baptiste Viernway get less and less time every game we come to commentate on? He's a great player and he hustles out there, but I have come to notice that I feel like he is out on that ice a little less and less every game.
I think part of the reason, I mean, he's on the second line in this game. I think he's getting the minutes. It's just not as noticeable when you're on a line with Jukas and Judas. You can kind of be overshadowed.
Absolutely, Judas and Jukas always putting out as much hustle as possible.
Jukas there, he pokes one along and he races after it. And with it now are the Griffins. Now a battle for it along that far wall. West Virginia able to hold the zone. They go cross ice. Jukas lets one go, and that one in and out of the glove of the Griffins netminder, but it doesn't go into the net. So Griffins are okay. Now the Griffins through center ice, and they'll bring it into the zone now. Another really good individual effort there from the Canisius Griffins. Now it's taken by Morris. Morris looking to get something started here for West Virginia. Morris shoots one in. That one goes around the boards where it's collected there by West Virginia. They bring it back around the boards. Pinching in to try and get to that puck was West Virginia, but the Griffins get to it first, and it comes all the way out where it's collected by Morris, and he'll just chip one into the zone. Going after it, there's Cosgrove. But the Griffins gain possession, and they'll get it out the center and now into the offensive zone. A good stick lift there from Isel. He gains possession. He goes cross ice for Avalone. Solid hit there from West Virginia, and that will lead to them getting possession. With it there is Shikatano. Shikatano drops it off for Isel. Isel goes cross ice, and there it is taken by Stokes. Stokes enters the zone off sides, and a stoppage in play with 13:35 to go in period number 3.
despite this 3-1 deficit here for the Mountaineers, they are leading on the shots on goal category. The Mountaineers have 25 shots on net to the Griffins' 20 shots on net.
The big difference with the shots is, one, the quality of the shots, and at the same time, the repetitiveness of the shots. The Mountaineer possessions are one shot and out of the zone, one shot and out of the zone. When the Griffins get zone time, they're getting 5, 6, 7 shots a possession, and it's eventually leading to the Mountaineer defense breaking down in chances for the Griffins.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed here with the Mountaineers. They like to find that perfect shot, but sometimes it's just better to let them go.
Griffins bring it into the zone now. Going after it, there is Stokes. Stokes trying to gain possession, but the Griffins pick his pocket. Pass out in front. A good chance from the slot, fanned on twice. Griffins now pass it, cross eyes, and another good chance goes awry. Now up to the blue line. Solid hit there from West Virginia, and they'll gain possession in the form of Stokes. Stokes passes off, and taking it is Cosgrove. Cosgrove knows that the Mountaineers need to make something happen in a hurry. This game is all Griffins right now. Gookin trying to gain possession for West Virginia, but the Griffins take it back. Couple players go down there. No call. Play is called clean, and with it is Hedges. Hedges sending it right down Main Street, and it's collected there and passed off for Evans. Evans sends it into the zone, and the Griffins take it. From behind their own net now, they look to bring it out of their end. Couple players stepped up, and now Gookin will just whip it back around the boards, where it might get to Ventura, but the Griffins win the race. Ventura with a solid forecheck, almost gained possession, but the Griffins stay with it. Now Ventura on the back check. He took a slash there, pretty aggressive one. Huff started to skid out of the net thinking it was going to be a delayed penalty, but no call, no arm in the air. The Griffins send it back into the defensive end of the Mountaineers, where it's collected by Gookin. Gookin sends it off for Hedges, and that cross-ice pass goes off of the mark. Icing waved off as that could have been played by the Griffins. Canisius looking to get out of their own defensive end. West Virginia trying to set up a forecheck, but the Griffins get out of the zone first. Into the offensive end now. That shot in on Huff. He deflects it aside. Rebound loose. Griffins get to it first. Hedges looking for options as he brings it ahead. Now he just lugs it all the way to the offensive zone and drops it off to the far corner. Griffins once again clear it out of the zone. Viernway takes it. Viernway waits for his teammates to get on side, and he'll dump it back in. Hintmeyer applying pressure alongside of Viernway. Now that puck deflects off of the boards, where it's picked back up by the Griffins. Good hit there from West Virginia. That was Judas laying that hit. And it comes free where Viernway tried to get to it, but it comes free for the Griffins. The Griffins with a great passing play and a good shot there off of the mark, though, that probably would have beaten Huff.
Looked like he saw it a little bit there, but you're right. That puck got there really quickly. It was a great pass there.
Good 1-2-3 triangle passing play. Jukas just laid a man out along the near wall. He just took a slash behind the play. Referee was looking right at it. Very surprised we didn't see a call on that. Jukas sends it back to the blue line. That shot in through traffic. Rebound chance and another shot for West Virginia, and somehow it stays out.
Great save there by the Griffin goaltender. And there's a late hit there after the play, and it looks like Avalon went down hard.
And now you've got these scrums going on. If you're West Virginia, you got to keep your heads cool. You're about to get a power play. That hit was 100% going to lead to a penalty. Now we might be looking at 4-on-4, which doesn't help you. You've been out-hustled. The other team looks faster this game, and 4-on-4 favors the faster team, and that's been the Griffins so far.
Yeah, Baptiste, Viernway's teammates, got to tell him to keep a level head there. I think he's actually headed to the box with the ref right now. Actually, no, looking like actually that's just a line change there, but West Virginia coach has got to tell his guys to keep a level head. 10 minutes left in the game. You want to get as many great opportunities as possible here.
I did just notice Max Hedges leaving the ice and heading over to a trainer, so definitely something to keep an eye on. I'll keep an eye on the bench, see if I notice him, but not good for West Virginia if Hedges is out of this game.
Yeah, you lose a big 1-2 player there. Great on defense, great moving the puck up the ice, finds players really well. It's a big loss there for the Mountaineers in this last 10 minutes of the game.
And I mean, probably maybe your best offensive forward too. I mean, in terms of setting up plays and just getting shots on frame. Gookin could rival him with that, but between those two guys, I mean, there's your offensive defenseman. You know, really, neither one of them I would classify as offensive defenseman as much as we would maybe Addison Collins with the D2 team, but definitely very good two-way guys. And losing Hedges is going to hurt your goal-scoring ability here at the back half of this game.
Absolutely. They're both very dangerous players out there from the blue line. It's going to be a tough loss there.
A lot of explaining going on between Lewis instead of Hedges. Hedges usually would be the one having this conversation, but not on the ice at the moment. And just kind of waiting to see what comes of this right now, because looks like we got a 2-minute minor that is for sure going against the Griffins. We'll see if West Virginia gets anything. If they don't, this is a huge power play here with 10:13 to go in period number 3. You've got to execute and get one on this power play, bring it back within 1.
Yeah, getting one here on this power play completely changes the tide of this game, changes it to a 3-2 game, and the Mountaineers are just that much in it as they were in the beginning of the game, excuse me.
Yeah, we do have a West Virginia power play upcoming. They're going with that first power play unit: Gookin, Hintmeyer, Jukas, Avalone, and Cosgrove. Face-off worked free and back to Gookin, who fans on it, and now it could be a breakaway for the Griffins. A misplay that leads to a great chance for the Griffins. They work it out in front, and a good back check by Gookin, and that's going to be a penalty on Gookin as well. So there goes your power play.
Tough play there for the Mountaineers. Turnover in the offensive zone that time, and defenders were able to check back fast enough before the player got all the way to Jacob Hugh by himself, but still a tough call there for the Mountaineers. And now, like you said, that momentum that they had built up for 17 seconds goes down the drain.
Now, on top of the fact that you're going to 4-on-4, now you're in 4-on-4 with Hedges off the ice with an injury and Gookin in the penalty box for the next 2 minutes. You've lost your top line of defense now. West Virginia going with Cosgrove, Hintmeyer, Lewis, and Morris for this 4-on-4. That one goes around for Morris. Morris passes across, and it's collected by Cosgrove. Cosgrove and Hintmeyer together could be dangerous for West Virginia. Now it goes around the boards. The Griffins get to it first. And a solid forecheck there from West Virginia, but they can't gain possession, and the Griffins bring it ahead and now into the offensive zone. They take a shot, that one in and out of the glove of Huff, and that rebound almost dangerous there. Now the Griffins with another chance, looking for that deflection from the slot, and the Griffins once again get to the rebound. I think the story of this game, Chris, has been the Griffins' effort on what are supposed to be 50-50 pucks. It's been more 80-20 this game.
I've seen several Griffin players laying out their body and trying to get that puck back when they lose it.
Cosgrove there with a good backhand try. It comes up to the blue line for Morris. That one deflected in front, and it doesn't go. Mountaineers generating chances here in this 4-on-4.
That sounded like it hit a stick there.
I think that was deflected right out in front by Cosgrove and just went wide.
Very close opportunity there for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia trying to keep it in the zone. Bringing it in now is Isel. Isel has Jukas with him. And Jukas trying to get to that puck. Isel's still tied up in the slot. And it comes free. With it now is Stokes. Stokes takes that shot. I'm sorry, that was Burroughs. And it is gloved and held.
As you said earlier, I think the Mountaineers really need to look to just start firing on all cylinders. Like you mentioned earlier, they come out of each possession in the offensive third with one shot on net, and if you want to be dangerous to the other goaltender, you want at least 2 or 3, like you said before, that puck's coming out.
Face-off one, and a diving effort there from the Griffins. That gets it out of the zone. Now a cross-ice pass into space, and that backhand pass stepping up to it there is Burroughs, and it comes all the way down where the Griffins collect it. Jukas looking for a penalty call there. He's not going to get it. And now Burroughs backhands one along. Mountaineers on the kill for another 10 seconds here. Not much of a penalty kill. One clear down here would do it, but the Mountaineers going to look to keep possession and try to generate an attack as they get Gookin out of the box right there. 7:50 to go here in period number 3. West Virginia trailing 3-1 on the scoreboard as it's worked into the zone. putting on the brakes, and now passing out in front. That one picked off by Hintmeyer. Hintmeyer looking to accelerate out and get something started for West Virginia. Hintmeyer sidesteps one, he brings it into the zone, backhands one around behind, and it comes free to the point for Chickatano. Chickatano takes a shot, that one deflects wide. Now that one ringing around the boards, getting to it there is Ventura, but it's poked off of his stick and back out to center. The Griffins intercept that pass off the stick of Morris, and they'll bring it now into the offensive zone. That shot blocked off by Chickatano and picked back up by Ventura. Ventura lays it off for Hintmeyer, and Hintmeyer unable to get to it. Now he applies some pressure and gains possession. Looking to step by, but the Griffins take it back, and it comes free for Evans to take the shot, and that one catches glass. Back to the blue line for Morris. Morris sends it down low. Now cross ice for Chickatano. Chickatano lets one go. That one gets blocked. Evans takes a hit along the boards, but gets it to Ventura. Ventura mishandles it, and it comes free for Chickatano to play it from his knees. Chickatano trying to stay with it. He takes a man down, and that will be a penalty on West Virginia upcoming as the Griffins bring it into the zone. They take a shot. That one patted aside, touched up by Evans, and that will be a penalty assessed to West Virginia. Hooking call upcoming, and a penalty kill already down 3-1 with 6:33 left in the regulation time.
Yeah, tough break there for the Mountaineers. 6:33 left in regular time, and they are down 3-1. Looks like the momentum is in the Griffins' hands here.
And it was another case of hustle play. The Griffins just beating the Mountaineers to the puck, and desperate to try and make a play. You hook the man and take him down. It's going to be an easy call for the referee. And this is a game we haven't seen a lot of penalties, but there are some that you just have to call. And when you see a guy get a stick in the rib cages and get yanked down, it's a must call. The Griffins on the power play. This one taken now by Judas. Judas racing in, looking for a shorthanded opportunity. The Griffins able to force it along. Avalone sends one away. Pinching in there after it is Stokes. But it comes free, back in possession of the Griffins. So Chris, if you're the Griffins here, are you pushing on this power play, or are you just going to let these 2 minutes kind of run off the clock and kind of cycle around?
Yeah, personally, if I'm the Griffins coach, I'm telling my guys to push, get one more, put this game away, and take all of that will out of the Mountaineers hard and end this game early on.
Cross ice pass there, picked off by West Virginia. Now Jukas takes a shot, that one deflected, and a good save there. With it now are the Griffins developing what could have been a 3-on-2, but they enter the zone offsides, and we'll have a stoppage. 1:06 to go in the Griffin power play, 5:39 to go in regulation time.
3-1 lead here by the Griffins, and we have a shot count of on goal of 28 for the Mountaineers and 22 for the Griffins. Mountaineers still with more shots than the Griffins, but they're unable to produce the same amount of goals.
And the Griffins netminder has been fantastic this game. He has made some incredible saves throughout this game, and as good as the Griffins offensively have looked, he's the real reason they're still in this game, because West Virginia's had their chances. It's just been good saves on the backstop from the Griffins.
No doubt. Between his catches and his kick saves, he's really keeping that puck out of there.
Now the Griffins working it into the zone. And that one mishandled, and a good defensive play there by Wilson. He'll clear it all the way back down. 45 to go in the kill for West Virginia. And the Griffins work it in through neutral ice, and now they'll lug it into the offensive end. That shot goes high up over the head of Huff, and now it's backhanded away and cleared all the way down again by Gukin. Griffins with enough time for possibly one more good Russian attack here with 21 to go in the power play. They put on the brakes and just dump it into the zone. Huff going to go ahead and try to play this one. He drops it off for Morris, and Morris almost mishandled that. That could have been dangerous for West Virginia. Now it comes free. Battling for it and gaining possession are the Griffins. They only have 3 seconds left in the power play. That one fanned on, and we are back to even strength as West Virginia gets Chickatano out of the box. And a player down on the ice, laying on top of the puck for the Griffins. He'll go ahead and stay down. Looks like he might be injured. Wasn't just laying on the puck, but also down hurt. With 4:27 to go in period number 3. training staff coming out to check on the downed Griffins player.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like he wants to try to get up yet. Starting to bend his knees a little bit and get his upper body in the air, but he is very slow to get up.
They didn't catch what happened down there. There was a whole lot of bodies that came together all at the same time. He could have just happened to have been at the focal point of all of that energy colliding at once, and those boards do not give.
Absolutely. It looked like he was covering his face, so either could have been a face to the boards, a face to the ice. I highly doubt a puck to the face. That would have been a very more of a gruesome injury, but I guess we'll see as he gets up here.
Hard to get a puck to the face with those cages on as well, so more than likely, if it's a head thing, he got his head rattled along those boards, and definitely can be a dangerous play. You get that whiplash effect. It can lead to some concussion problems.
Absolutely. From my knowledge, I don't know, but it's a college hockey ASHA rule to have your full helmet guard up. And then NHL, they're allowed to have half guard face masks. I'm not quite sure how it works here in the NCAA/ACHA.
Yeah, so the ACHA runs off NCAA rules, and NCAA does mandate, as well as if you go up to Canada for the junior leagues, they mandate the full face guard, whether it be the birdcage or the fishbowl or some kind of hybrid of the two. When you get up to the NHL level, you don't see, there might be a couple of them left, but most players now have the visor. The rule was mandated, I believe in 2007 was the first year that all players drafted had to have a visor, and before that, players drafted in 2006 or earlier are still allowed to wear no visor. They're grandfathered into the previous rule. Why anyone would want to play hockey without any visor whatsoever is beyond me. But at the college level, full face mask is required.
Thank you for that educational update, Quinn.
With it now back at even strength, West Virginia from center ice. They'll send it into the zone, delayed offsides. They touch back up, but with it are the Griffins. West Virginia trying to get that forecheck, get that puck back. And they're able to do so momentarily there. The Griffins send it in. Huff paddles that one aside. And it's banked off the boards to be taken there by Burrows.
You pointed it out earlier. Those Griffin offenders are hustling very hard.
They are, and the forecheck is causing a lot of problems for the Mountaineers. And the Mountaineers have really done a great job with their forecheck the last few weeks. I mean, that's how they've been winning games, is forcing those defensive zone turnovers. And that forecheck has looked completely ineffective today in this game. Hintmeyer bringing it into the offensive end now. He passes one around the boards. It kicks free, and the Griffins take it back. They send it back around the boards. Getting to it is Gukin. And that one deflects up into the netting and out of play. With 3:13 to go in the third, West Virginia, you're starting to run out of time here.
Yeah, 3 minutes left, like you said. Tough break here for the Mountaineers. Still not over, but with the way the momentum is leaning, it's not looking great here for the Mountaineers, but hopefully they can sneak one in here before the last few minutes of the game.
Now you want to only be down one when you pull the goalie. Down two is a really tough situation with that goalie pulled. A lot of chances for the other team to make it a 3-goal game. That puck up into the slot. West Virginia with a shot. That one through traffic, never found its way through. Racing away with it now are the Griffins. They cross center ice, and they're bringing it into the offensive end. That pass gets deflected up into the air, and now it's down low. The Griffins look to pass out in front. The only person there is Eisel. Eisel loses possession. It comes free, and it's picked up there by Gukin. Gukin playing alongside of Morris, as Hedges is still not returned to the bench. Gukin gets it back from Morris. Now a bit of a mishandle. Now it goes ahead, and Eisel takes it. Eisel loses possession of it. That one flipped along and backhanded there by West Virginia, potentially catching the Griffins goalie off guard, but puck goes off the mark, doesn't matter. Griffins right up into the ceiling, out of play it goes, and it looks like that's going to be the point where the Mountaineers might try to pull Huff here. Go with that 6-on-5, 2:13 to go in period number 3. You're trailing by a pair. Might be that time, and Huff's taking a step onto the bench. We're going to go to 6-on-5 here for the remaining 2:13 of this game. And it looks like West Virginia might be taking a timeout on top of it, try to get everything set up. You got an offensive zone draw here. You're going to have 6-on-5. Your coach Buckley, you're drawing up scenarios for both if you win and if you lose this face-off.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said earlier, it's a little dangerous pulling the keeper with a 2-goal deficit. But personally, I think that if the Mountaineers are going to stay in this game, they need to win this face-off and score before the puck leaves that third of the ice right now. Because if it leaves that third of the ice, the Griffins will very likely have a fourth goal.
Yeah, if this game goes 4-1, Fat Lady's singing at that point. This game's a wrap. But if you're West Virginia, you start up that cycle. And I would say you probably want one before the clock hits 1:15. You want one in approximately the next minute. And that gives you plenty of time, because when the faceoff comes back to center ice, you're going to have to return Huff. And you're going to have to get possession of that puck and advance it to the offensive zone before Huff can come back out. So you want to get that done in the first 15 seconds after you score. Get the puck into the offensive zone, and then you have a minute to work with, only down by 1. So a lot has to happen here for West Virginia.
Yeah, a lot for the Mountaineers to do here to try to get back in this game with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining.
West Virginia has Cosgrove, Jukas, Hintmeyer, Gukin, Isel, and Avalone all on the ice. There's a lot of firepower on the ice right now. Face-off won by the Griffins, and they'll immediately flip it all the way down. Should be icing and will be, but that's a quick 8 seconds right off the clock.
Yeah, you don't want to waste any time here, but at least the puck comes back down to where you had it right before, so you can try to get another shot on net, if you win this face-off.
Take 2 for West Virginia, and it's once again won by the Griffins. They'll send it all the way down, and around the boards it'll go. Icing number 2, and we're down to 1:57 now. Clock just keeps dripping. That's another, we went down to 1:56. So that's 9 seconds off the clock this time.
Absolutely. You'd think that the Griffins would gladly send that thing down the ice as many times as it takes, but
eventually it'll probably find its way on frame. You got no issue taking this clock down 9 seconds at a time. This time West Virginia does win the draw, and they can start up maybe a bit of an attack there. Shot in by Gukin, trying to get one through traffic. Griffins take it. West Virginia able to gain back possession. They're cycling the zone right now. It comes free up to the blue line for Jukas. Jukas tries to backhand one along. It's up into the air, and Jukas able to keep it in the zone. He rings it around the boards. And with it there is Cosgrove. Now a pass out in front. That one blocked aside. Gukin has it right at the blue line. He works it down low for Hintmeyer. Hintmeyer mishandles it, and all the way down it will go once again. Another icing, but now you're down to 1:18.
Yeah, plenty of time killed off by the Griffins so far. Not many good looks for the Mountaineers at the goal, but they're going to keep trying here, and the puck's still down in the Griffin territory.
It's not a bad play. Gukin right off of that faceoff. He took a shot, as we have another timeout called here. He took that shot in on goal. When you have a 6-on-5, there's a lot of bodies on the ice right now. People talk about it like it's a power play, but it's not, because there's more bodies on the ice versus a 5-on-4. There's actually more open space. The ice looks really crowded when you have 6-on-5, and the passing lanes can seem kind of clogged even though you have that extra man. But a goalie's vision's also more clogged with extra bodies on the ice. So you take that shot in all the way from the blue line. There's a lot of traffic out there. The Mountaineers are running 5 guys right in a line off this faceoff with just Gukin back at the point. So you've got a lot of bodies out there, and it could possibly go off one of them. Netminder loses sight of it. There's a lot of ways that shot could find its way home.
What's the goal for this 6th man that's out there on the ice right now? What is he told to do by the coach?
Right now, if I'm the coach, I'm telling that extra man, you park yourself right in front of the goalie. Set a screen the entire time. Make sure that he can't see a puck. Give it an extra chance to go in. Jukas takes a shot there. That one catches glass. Now a chance as it's wrapped around, but it comes free, and the Griffins looking to race to it. That one coming all the way down. Gukin gets to it first as the clock goes into double digits now. No more minutes in the game. Jukas trying to backhand one along. Battled for in the near corner. Gukin coming over to help now. And finally it is pulled free onto the stick of Gukin. 40 to go. Jukas racing ahead. He drops one off for Isel. Isel trying to bring it into the zone. That one banks off of a referee. It comes all the way back to the West Virginia defensive zone for Morris. 28 to go in regulation time. And the Griffins take it once more. The Griffins from their defensive end, 20 to go. They're just going to flip this one down. Good defensive play there, but now the Griffins get to it. Backhand long, and they score the empty netter with 13.5 to go. Cosgrove misplayed that off the dump down, and it leads to a 4-1 Griffins lead. Just 13 and a half to go. That'll do it, Chris.
Quinn, I'm hearing the fat lady right now, and she is singing. It's not looking good for the Mountaineers out here today.
I don't know about you. I'm not liking the tune too much myself.
Neither am I. 13 and a half seconds left here. Mountaineers down 4-1. It almost seems like this thing is all wrapped up.
Now we're going to have a puck drop here. More than likely, whatever side wins it. I don't see either side really trying to push right now, but just let this clock drain out, you know. Everyone will head on home for the night.
Tough break tonight for the Mountaineers.
Griffins do win the draw. They advance it into the offensive zone, and they're just going to pin it up along the boards. Both sides seem pretty content to let this game run on out here. 2-1-0, and that will do it. The West Virginia Mountaineers fall to the Canisius Griffins 4-1. Chris, you got any last thoughts on this game?
I mean, from up here, all we can really see is what we see, but throughout the game, I just felt like the Griffins were really hustling more when the Mountaineers had the puck in their own zone. They weren't just letting them clear up the ice. The Griffins were putting that pressure on them the whole time because they might have known that the Mountaineers have not been so great this year on transition passes, excuse me.
Yeah, I think, without a doubt, story of this game, forecheck. One side had a very effective forecheck, and one side didn't. And you look at the scoreboard, and you can tell which was which with that 4-1 Griffin victory. For Quinn Kuski, alongside of Chris Breitzemeter, that will do it from Morgantown Ice Arena. So long, and let's go Mountaineers.